6 o'clock on Channel 11 on the CAN network, and that was a reading of the Roswell letter as written to Mr. Art Bell, who is a radio commentator and an interviewer on the KEX 1190 AM programs. Ron, that was a very interesting letter that you acquired for the Cosmic Connection.
Yes, I also have a follow-up letter that was dated to the Art Bell show.
So you have a follow-up letter on that? All right,
yes,
and if I could direct the camera crews to show the pieces of the material that you all have been worrying and have been hearing about. These are the fragments of metal that have been sent to Art Bell, as was stated in the letter from the gentleman. And I'd like to thank Mr. George Meek for reading that rendition off to us today for the Art Bell program.
Bravo.
Now this was this is metal. If we could show that on screen, of the pieces of metal. And these are, they had analyzed, go ahead, Rod. They had these pieces of metal analyzed. If we could show them on the screen, go ahead.
Yeah, the follow-up letter that I have is dated April 22nd, so it was directed to Art Bell from our anonymous, I believe, Air Force officer from the follow-up letter, and transcribing some of the information they sent. Just a couple of quick notes here. First line that was read to Mr. Bell: at great risk, I am writing to you in regards to the package sent your way. I had the opportunity to listen to the tape recording of the radio broadcast when I arrived home after participating in the mobility readiness exercises. I must say I was somewhat surprised by the negative and closed-minded responses directed your way by some of your own listeners. There are some other interesting notes in this letter. There were 3 teams that were sent to the site: on-site team, in-house team, and a security team. The credentials of the team members weren't only military related. There were individuals with backgrounds from the University of Colorado, Office of Naval Research, Army, Air Force, U.S. Air Force, and U.S. Army, UCLA, and Atomic Energy Commission, and National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics, and Office of Scientific Research and Development. Additionally, there were consultants from England, France, and Russia involved in the recovery also.
Now, are they standing up and naming names and naming dates, or are they still going anonymous?
Presently, right now, it's still anonymous. There's a note down here about the middle of the page by this anonymous officer. It states, I'll not likely communicate again. My wife is concerned as that the intelligence agencies will put 2 and 2 together, so it is advisable to further communicate this information. I hope you understand my position. Evidently, from my time in the Air Force, he's traveling back and forth from Air Force Base to Air Force Base, and evidently he's part of I assume, possibly an Inspector General IG team.
Well, would he be willing to talk if he was granted immunity?
I'm sure he would. Sure he would.
Well, I think the Congress should make an open offer to any of these Roswell witnesses to come forward and talk.
Evidently, from his letter here, because of his security clearance and repercussions, I think that's where his fear lies right now.
Well, then all the old witnesses will just continue to die off, and we'll get nowhere, because this anonymous stuff is worthless.
That's true.
All right, let's go, let's look at that, the pictures of the squares and the elliptical pieces, the circles, the blade and the vent, where they're all sitting there next to one another with a quarter showing their general sizes. The 5 squares measured 6 millimeters by 6 millimeters, and the width of it was less than 1 millimeter. These were stated to be aluminum, 99% aluminum. The 2 elliptical pieces measured 6 millimeters by 8 millimeters. The circle measured 6 millimeters in diameter. The blade and the vent, the blade measuring 10 inches by 1.5 by 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. This was a blade, lightweight, and the vent piece being 2 3/8 inches by 1 15/16 inches, not square. These, the blade and the vent had embedded or attached granules that measured, when analyzed, at 10 manganese, 10 iron, and 80% aluminum. The analysis of the scientists that Linda Moulton Howell had these analyzed for Art Bell, a well-credentialed scientist that had been doing work for Linda Howell for her animal mutilation and crop circle analyses. So the people that worked on the analyzation of this material are held in high regard. They do wish to remain anonymous at this time. And the bottom line is this has been analyzed as greater than 99% aluminum with no other elements attached to this piece of metal.
Cosmo, here's an interjection to go along with the metal pieces. This is from the follow-up letter also. The anonymous writer states, Granddad stated their own analysis of the samples indicated that it was pure extract aluminum as a conductor for the electromagnetic fields created in the propulsion systems. However, critically needed data was eliminated by the self-destruct mechanisms on the disc itself. Furthermore, the occupant survivor of the crash refused to disclose technical information despite a series of interrogative attempts to extract technological data. No means could be found to secure the information.
Now, that's very interesting, and I'm sure there's people out there that are eating this all up, and I'm sure there are people out there saying, well, what does all this mean? Why do we keep rehashing this? This is news, ladies and gentlemen. These pieces of metal, it's not every day that someone sends you material that stated that came from a crashed flying saucer from 1947.
Well, you bring up a good point there. There's a lot of what we do is for people in the know that watch our show. This is a lot of times not beginning UFOs 101, which we do sometimes. So if any of this is going over your heads and you're not getting it, be sure and give us a call or write us a letter, and we'll be glad to explain where we're going with it.
Absolutely. Okay, I'd like to thank right now the fine folks out at the La Costa Mexican Restaurant at 7425 Southwest Barber Boulevard. Roberto Aguilera and the fine folks out there for our fine Mexican cuisine. And our announcer George today sampled some of that, and I'm sure he enjoyed the fine fiesta platter. So we'd like to thank the folks down, and what you're looking at is a golf shirt that the La Costa Mexican Restaurant is making available to the public. A very fine shirt, and we thank Roberto for allowing us to show that beautiful shirt on our program today. If we could take a call at 667-7434, if you'd like to discuss anything that's on your mind, if you've had a sighting, if you'd like to talk about anything of this El Chupacabra creature, if you'd like to call it. I understand that this creature has been sighted in the Medford, Oregon area. This creature can run somehow, run or fly up to 50, 60 miles an hour.
Like the Roadrunner.
Like the Roadrunner. And this creature has been spotted in Puerto Rico, Texas, Mexico. And we are a live call-in talk show dealing with the UFO phenomenon. And if you'd like to, we have some letters, ladies and gentlemen. We received, Sue, we will be answering yours. You requested a very important Cosmic Connection past program. That was Cosmic Connection 58, I believe that was. That was dealing with some Area 51 that we got involved with there, some Area 51 activity.
That's one of my favorite shows.
Yes, Dennis, and you put that together. We like that. A Lieutenant Colonel B. Raven, I have answered this letter. This did not come with a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we will be sending you a response for that. We do request that you send us self-addressed stamped envelopes. Andrew, we have an answer for you there. Steve, Ben, and I believe a Denise and a Kimberly wrote. And all of you will be having your letters answered and the information sent back to you.
As long as we're on the subject of viewer mail, I'd just like to mention and thank all the people that have written and just let you know, a lot of times those letters do a world of good for us. We find out that there's longtime viewers that have never called in or written before but appreciate what we're doing, and it helps a lot.
Well, this one addressed to aliens over Oregon, he would like to know how to receive the Aliens Over Oregon pamphlet. If you'd like to write to the Cosmic Connection, or you can pick it up, a copy of the Aliens Over Oregon. That's out at Positively Designed, and that is 28 Southwest 2nd, near the Skidmore Fountain, and it is called Positively Designed, and the proprietor is Rowena Latson. And we'd like to thank those folks out there for making Aliens Over Oregon to our public. At 667-7434, hi. You're on with Ron, Dennis, and myself. Hi. Welcome.
Well, while we're getting that fixed, while we're on the subject of Roswell,
Sure.
let's take care of a little bit of old business.
All right.
And discuss the town hall that was done, what, a month, 6 weeks ago on Roswell?
Quite a while back, yes. Let's broach this subject. That was dealing with Stanton Friedman and a gentleman. I do not know his name. Every time I see this individual, he's wearing a blue NASA suit. And this gentleman, I don't know if he's a self-proclaimed NASA or if he works for NASA. I think he does work for NASA. He tends to be on the skeptical side.
That's fine. But the nature of the show was pretty amazing, because 4 years ago, when Stanton Friedman came to town, we couldn't get any of the local media to touch him with a 10-foot pole. And here for Town Hall, they paid for his plane ticket here and back to bring him in, which is pretty amazing.
Yes.
Jeff Gianola flew down to Roswell and interviewed the witnesses. This is the first time any local media has dared touch the UFO. We had Randall and Schmidt here twice, couldn't get them to touch that. Suddenly, one of the local news media is actually taking it seriously, getting off their duffs, and going down there and checking it out. I was astounded.
I spoke with Jeff Gianola, and he said that the gentleman that he met down at the Roswell area at the impact site stated he definitely had a good time. And hats off to Jeff Gianola at KATU Channel 2, and that's Town Hall, which happens to be on right at this program right now. We do compete with Jeff Gianola, and if you're not into UFOs, I suggest you turn to Jeff, and I believe he's speaking with His Majesty, the gentleman Newt Gingrich. Yes, thank you very much. His Majesty Newt Gingrich. Well, hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hello.
Hello, is that me?
That's you, Hal.
It's Rufus.
Huh?
I just wanted to make sure there's a reporting I have of...
Okay, what's your name?
Rufus.
Spell that?
R-U-F-U-S.
Rufus. Hello, Rufus. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I'd just like to report, two of my good friends, reported to me that they saw these unmarked black helicopters, and they were military. Two of them over in southwest Portland and one in northeast Portland. And on that, I just wanted to I read some reports, and I wanted to know if you guys heard anything about it. Some of these UFO researchers or people in that field being leaders or members of armed militias, and what you thought about that.
Well, our take on the black helicopters is it's not that unusual. There's a lot of black unmarked helicopters in the Portland, Lake Oswego area, and it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, and a lot of people are sighting these things out, wondering what they're doing.
The interesting thing is that for some reason, somebody uses these black helicopters to monitor UFO situations, encounters, and people that are being abducted for some reason get monitored by black helicopters. So that's the really only unusual connection we know of to black helicopters.
Well, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Rufus, thank you very much, and thanks for waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, 667-7434. Let's take another call. Hi. Welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hello? All right, doctor, take care of that one. Put on the next one. We don't have time to wait. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Yes. Hi.
Speak up, please. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Your name, please.
Chris?
Chris, welcome.
I had a question on Area 51. I just wasn't sure what it was. could you give me some background information on
All
it?
right, very good question. Absolutely. Dennis, give us a Dennis overview of Area 51 and what the caller has missed on previous Cosmic Connections.
Well, Area 51 used to be a highly top-secret military base. Now it's one of the most well-known military bases in the world, and has even had the highway running next to it officially named the extraterrestrial highway. I'm sorry.
Great.
I have to laugh when I say that. But that's where we've tested top-secret military aircraft for years. And a young gentleman broke the news in, I believe, 1987, wasn't it, Cosmo, or 88?
About 88, 89. I believe Mr. Lazar broke the information in 1989.
On the Billy Goodman happening, that he was a scientist that had worked there, and his job was to back engineer the propulsion of alien craft at that site. And since that time, it's become a pretty big tourist attraction, and Cosmo and myself have each taken our own trips there and been astounded by what we've seen to back up Bob Lazar's claims.
Chris? All right, next caller, please. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Yo, I'm calling about an experience I had.
Yeah, your name?
My name's Woody.
Woody, welcome.
Yes,
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Gresham, man.
Excellent.
Yeah, see, I was hanging out one day with my girlfriend, and
How long ago did this happen?
this happened last year.
And this is a legitimate sighting you feel that you saw?
No, I actually experienced it.
All right, go ahead, Woody.
It took me back to when I was in the 60s. It seemed like, you know, these dudes are actually smoking. I don't know what it was, but, you know, they tried giving me some of it. I said, no way, man.
This is really not a type of a scenario that I've heard before. If we could take another call, maybe you could regroup and get back to us at 667-7434.
Very good.
Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
This is Chris.
All right, Chris.
First of all, I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Have you ever heard of the Project Aurora?
Yes, we have.
Do you know anything about it? I mean, because I heard that Mattel, which is a toy company, used to release, you know, scale models of aircraft that were unofficially, you know, before they were officially released, like the SR-71 and the Stealth Fighter and all that. And you know, I've heard some stories about it, but I was just kind of wondering if you can clarify that.
Are you, I believe he's referring to Testers, which has come out with a model of that, not Mattel.
Oh, okay.
Dennis Testers.
Testers tends to has had a habit throughout the years of coming out with model aircraft of quote, secret aircraft that are generally being tested at Area 51 a few years before it's officially announced, such as the SR-71, the Stealth.
Manta.
Yeah. So somehow they get advance info on that. They probably drove up to Freedom Ridge and took a few photos.
So what's the scoop on the Aurora project? Because I heard that the aircraft develops itself in a bright white light, and it's capable of pretty amazing maneuvers.
Well, the Aurora plane, simplified, is a plane known as it's a single stage device that can reach orbit without any other help or jet engines, so to speak. This is an airplane that can reach orbit just like the shuttle can, but the shuttle reaches orbit with 3 cylinders. This doesn't work that way. This is a single stage. Go ahead.
The other question I had, too, is
Sure.
Is there any significance, I mean, I've got my own theories about it, but is there any significance to the actual shape of a saucer? You know, the traditional cigar shape, spherical, with the little spheres, you know, on top, proportionate?
That's just one shape. There are many shapes. There are, over the past years, the Cosmic Connection, we've shown you ships that look like a drop of mercury, changing and constantly shifting shape and form and color.
Even Bob Lazar said he saw the assortment pack out at Area 51.
Out at Area 51, Bob Lazar stated that he saw the jelly mold, the top hat, the sport model. various, the six-pack, whatever that is.
Okay, I just thought it was interesting because, for example, you could take two spheres that are chrome-like, and when you touch them together, the reflections of both of the spheres against each other, one half of that reflection. I don't know if you ever tried it before.
No, I haven't.
Well, you got to try it. Like the Chinese yin-yang balls. If you ever get a pair of those that are chrome, where you can actually touch them together, it's interesting to note that the shape of the reflection of both of those spheres touching looks exactly like a flying saucer.
You mean the reflection in the reflection?
Right. So, and it's interesting to know that everywhere the shape of infinity, the figure 8 laying on its side.
Yes.
Okay. There's two spheres touching, right? That center point, it's like if you take two mirrors and put one in front of you and one behind you.
Okay.
You see that constant reflection, but it always veers off.
Yes.
Well, two chrome spheres touching, you can actually look down, and if you could actually magnify that reflection, you could actually see infinitely a reflection after.
I'm absolutely amazed with myself. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I just thought I'd bring that to your attention, and maybe you guys could expand on that a little bit. But I'm not joking. If you take two spheres and
All right, we'll take that under advisement. Maybe someone else can comment on that.
Well, I think more directly to respond to what he was saying, if the shape of the craft makes any difference, I think that's in reference to aerodynamic response. And I really don't think that has any bearing on the craft that we're talking about, because when you have gravity amplifiers with waveguides and you're warping time and space, you're not dealing with friction or air or even mass, because these things can, cut a corner on a dime at thousands of miles an hour.
Ron, you had something that you wanted to bring up earlier.
Project Blue Planet.
Project Blue Planet, is that right? And was there something to go along with Project Blue Planet? Just
Project Blue Planet, and what we're looking at is further investigation on that.
An investigation on Project Blue Planet. Very good. So for any of you ladies and gentlemen out there who'd like to comment on Project Blue Planet, please call it 667-7434. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Hear me?
Yeah, speak up in your name, please.
My name's Chris, and I was
that's
just...
three Chris's. That's go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead. It's three Chris's today. Go ahead.
Oh, that's odd. Okay, I was just curious about in Oregon, where have most of the sightings been, like, taking place over the past years? Where, in general, where most been
All over.
Place? All over?
All over, absolutely.
So there's not like one place where...
You can take a dart, spin the state of Oregon around, throw it, and there's been a sighting. We're talking Beaverton, Tigard, Medford, Silverton, Klamath Falls.
So there's like not a general place where they usually are sighted?
No.
Okay. I like your show, and just keep up the good work.
Right on, Chris. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. At 667-7434. Go ahead.
But flaps do move from area to area. For a while they'll be seen in one area and then move on to another area. A good way to track that type of thing is actually the
Watch this show.
the UFO News Clipping Service, which you can get once a month, and they collect any UFO reports or sightings that are in any newspapers across the U.S. and around the world, and so that you can see...
Out of Plummersville, Arkansas, I think I recall.
Sure. Month to month, you can see that most of the sightings tend to reside in one state or one area, and from month to month and year to year, they move around, so you can sort of keep up on the progress of the tour schedule of the aliens, so to speak.
Exactly. And if we could, speaking of move around, if we could move the cameras, and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show you through the program various photographs that we have here. I'd like to direct your attention to the black and white. Well, first of all, there's Chuck Yeager, but let's go from Chuck Yeager to some of the anomalies on the moon that Richard Hoagland has brought up. And hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, your name, please.
My name is Greg.
Greg?
Yes.
Go ahead, pal.
Okay, back in 1978 on Friday night, October 13th,
Okay.
I drove to the top of Paulina Peak with a friend.
What's the name of the peak?
Paulina Peak.
And what state is that in?
This is Oregon.
Okay.
There's east and west Paulina Lake. It used to be Newberry Crater. It's volcanic caldera it's almost the same size as Crater Lake.
Okay.
Got up there at sunset, and a little bit after sunset, going into dusk, one light began to peek out from behind Mount Jefferson, and then it would go back, and then I'm going to condense this story, and then it would peek out again and come back. It was like, and then it shot out towards Salem or to the west, and another light shot out after it.
Towards Salem?
Towards Salem.
Okay.
And that is the mountain is 10,500 feet, 10,494, and these lights were huge. I mean, if you use the mountain as a comparison, then maybe from the base to the top is 5,000 feet, so those lights had to be at least 500 feet in length. But they were flying in direct lines and erratic patterns, like they were chasing each other, having fun, but in geometric patterns across the sky. And then they shot back behind the mountain, to make a long story short again, and then one would come out on the left side at the base, and then go back in, and then come out maybe towards the top again, and then over on the other side. Make a long story short again, the lights, from that point, we were both, didn't know how to explain it, didn't have it. And my friend said, is that a 747? I said, what jet have you ever seen fly like that?
Sure.
And there's no international airport in Salem. So anyway, this light shot right at us, like it was coming, I don't know, again, how fast, but I mean, it was damn fast. It was from the time it left that mountain and coming to us, it was a few seconds, and it was over halfway there.
And how long did the entire sighting last?
That part of the sighting was, looking back on that 10 minutes, the light part where they were out and then going behind the mountain, I've always wanted to find the climbing register for that night, a Friday night, October 13th, on Mount Jefferson, to see what those people saw there on the mountain.
Now, was it emanating from this point behind the mountain several times? Did it seem to go back and forth to the same emanation point?
No. As I say, at first was looking out like it was observing us, and then it flew in an erratic pattern, and then there's the two of them that went back behind the mountain, as I said, poked again. I'm condensing the whole thing down, but this is only part of the story because there's another weird section to this. After the light was halfway to us, I flashed my headlights, the SOS. I don't know why I did. I guess I was scared. And as soon as I hit the first flash of my light that was flying at us disappeared, just vanished the instant I hit my headlight. And my friend said, what the hell did you do that for? Why'd you do that? And I said, I don't know, Steve. Anyway, about another 10 minutes after this, there's this sound coming from the north now. Looking at Mount Jefferson from Plana Picas to the northwest.
All right.
And there's this sound like a whipping of air, like blades beating, but with no engine sound, just a prop sound, a boom, 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 boom sound. The only other time I've heard this sound was on an Al Dino album called Alien Chase on the Arabian Desert, which came out after and made the hair on my back, my neck stand up. Well, anyway, this noise came louder and louder, and on the north side of Plana Peak, it's a sheer cliff. And I thought, I can't see this object coming towards us, this helicopter, whatever it is. I'm going to run to see if it's coming up below us on this cliff. And then when I got to the edge of the cliff and I couldn't see anything, I thought, man, there's something there. It's going to explode. I better get back. So I ran back to my car. My door is open. My friend is out. Whatever passes overhead is close, really so close that it's vibrating my car and shaking the doors. Whatever, the stars are never obliterated. The sky is always, it was crystal clear that night. And yet whatever passed overhead us, we never saw. I mean, we could hear, we could feel, it was vibrating in the car, and we could hear it going from north to south and fading off, this whipping of the air sound, and the wind direction changed when it went overhead. And that was that.
Very interesting sound and sight. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Greg, we'll put that down on the record.
Yeah.
I believe, Ron, you've had some experiences down in the coastal range on the opposite side of Salem, west side. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Been
true.
down there scouting around?
You bet. It's around the Falls City area. Interesting story. Greg, just one quick note. Have you had any other sightings since 1978?
Okay, he's off.
I think he's off the air.
Hi, let's take another call, please. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Yeah, my name's Joe.
Pardon me?
Joe.
Joe, welcome.
Yeah, I want to know about the face on Mars.
About the faces on Mars?
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, all right. The face is approximately 3/4 of a mile long, Dennis?
No, it's a mile long from forehead to chin.
Okay.
And if you've ever watched The Cosmic Connection, we've shown plenty of photos of the face on Mars and the pyramids. Because not far from the face
Can we show a face on Mars?
is a place
Face
called
on Mars?
a place nicknamed the City of Sidonia because there's several pyramids, and then to the south of that city is a five-sided pyramid. And Yeah, it's a carved stone face, and it's plainly visible in the NASA photographs. And Richard Hoagland has been begging and demanding for high-resolution photographs ever since then, and has been in a fight tooth and nail to get them, and has been unable to get them.
And he's still fighting with our astronauts, Edgar Mitchell, over the Art Bell show.
Right.
Yeah, I heard the government.
That was a very, very hot debate.
Did you hear the debate?
I happened to read yesterday, read the transcript.
Well, it wasn't very hot. They had the gloves on the whole time, and we're having tea and crumpets, and not much got accomplished.
It was a gentlemanly conversation.
I suggest if you're truly interested in the face on Mars, picking up a book called The Monuments of Mars,
Of which we have on our desk here.
by Richard Hoagland, and it will tell you everything and more that you wish to know about that face, and we'll point you to some other interesting books such as Zechariah Sitchin, so I recommend the book highly.
This book right here, Joe, The Monuments on Mars, this has maps. Mr. Hoagland and his friends, I believe it's Dr. Mark Carlotta, or Carlotta, sorry about that. They've done the geometry and the numbers for you.
They've done blow-ups. There's several blow-ups of all the interesting areas, and even the Richard Hoagland videos now have computer images that are animated, so it looks like you're flying around the Cydonia region in a helicopter. Very interesting stuff.
The government.
And also the story of NASA's attempt to cover this information up is detailed and chronicled in this book also.